Hi Sugar Snaps! If you want a simple and interesting way to decorate eggs, then check out this video where I go over how to use silk ties to transfer prints onto Easter eggs. So the materials and tools you'll need are a pot with water, 2 inches of water, and a metal stand or rack set in above the water so that it's sitting. You'll be able to put your bundles of eggs onto that, so it's just sitting in the steam, not in the water, in the steam, not in the water. A collection of silk ties. These are 100% silk, and you will want ties that are preferably acid dyed because the acid dyes will respond with the white vinegar and transfer the color to the egg. But you can experiment with just silk ties in general to see what works. So I have 3 silk ties here that my sister got at a thrift store for me, so I'm going to test out these and see what happens. Also, you'll want some cotton fabric that you'll wrap around the egg once you've wrapped it in the silk, so pieces large enough to wrap around the egg. You'll want eggs that have the egg white and egg yolk blown through the holes, so I have a hole in the top and the bottom, and I blew the egg out and then rinsed them out in water. And I go through that process in this video up here, all about the different egg dyeing techniques that I show you. So check that video out to get your eggs ready for this process. You'll also want a pair of scissors, some rubber bands. I have a bag of different sized rubber bands, a bowl to have beside you, and white distilled vinegar. And then a towel just to have handy to wipe up any spills or drips as you work. So first off, let's open up these ties. I think this floral on the inside of this tie looks pretty cool, so I'm going to open it up and use that as my first portion of fabric to try to dye with. So I'm just going to cut this open until I get to this fabric, and then cut the fabric out. And you can experiment with other fabrics as well. This is 100% silk. You can use silk scarves or even try using cotton fabrics. You're trying to find something that with steam and time in the steam, the colors will transfer. So not all fabrics will transfer in those conditions. A lot of polyester fabric, the dyes are actually infused into the filament fibers of the threads, so no color will come from those. But some cotton fabrics might, silk scarves, even some wool might have this effect. So I'm cutting out this piece, just following along the tie, following the stitches. I could also just cut through the fabric. Okay, so there's my first piece of fabric. Now I'll take one of my eggs and I'm going to pour in some white vinegar into my bowl, just enough to have about 1/8 of an inch thick in the bottom of the bowl, and roll one of your eggs around in the white vinegar until it's fully coated. Okay, so my egg is all wet, and I'll set it into the fabric. And you want the print side of the fabric facing up because you want it to touch the surface of the egg. So you're going to try to get the fabric to touch as much of the egg as possible. You want it in contact with the egg. So I'm going to roll this up like so and kind of tightly try to bundle it around this egg to get it to touch the egg as much as possible. Okay, so I'm wrapping that around, have that wrapped. Now grab one of your squares or pieces of cotton fabric, and we'll use this to hold the egg or the silk tightly around the fabric. So roll the cotton, or roll the silk into the cotton, roll it all up. This piece might be too big, so I'm going to cut it down just so that it rolls once. So I have one wrap around the egg and the silk, like so. And then you'll take the ends and wrap them with a rubber band. So, and then twist the other end tight so you're trying to get the egg tightly compressed into this bundle. And there's my first egg bundle. So we'll do the same process with another piece. We can try this kind of speckled green fabric. So I'll just set my egg in to get an idea of how much fabric I need, and then cut a strip from the tie. And I'm cutting off a rough rectangle so that I can set the egg in there. And there's actually two pieces, so I'll take out the lining of the tie, because I don't need this. Okay, so it's just the tie fabric there, and again, I'll roll it around, roll my egg around in white vinegar, and then roll it up into the print as tightly as possible. Okay, and then I'll use this guy to wrap it around. So if you watched my bundle dyeing video, which you can see that up here, we're doing a similar process to the bundle dyeing where we're wrapping the eggs up in cloth, like we did the cheesecloth on the bundle dye. This one we're doing cotton fabric over the silk fabric. And there's our next bundle. And now let's try, for our last tie, let's try this purple strip, because this would be pretty cool. And I'm just going to cut out this lining on this one. Take out the lining again. Okay, so now we have our fabric. Roll your egg in, roll your egg in the white vinegar, and then roll it in the fabric. And then roll it in a piece of cotton. Okay, so I have 3 egg bundles here. I'm going to put them into my pot. Put them onto the stand in the pot, and then pour a little amount of white vinegar over the top. And if the fabric doesn't receive that, you might have to soak them in the bowl. So roll the cotton fabric in the vinegar until your bundles are nice and soaked. And then put the lid on, and then you'll set this on a burner on the stove or a hot plate, and you'll let it come to a boil. Bring it to a boil, and then allow it to sit at a boil for 30 minutes or a high simmer for 30 minutes. And don't open it, because you want all that steam to build up and cause the dyes to saturate into the eggs, using this steam as the transfer agent. So go and do that, and then we'll get to see when we open them up what they look like and if the print did what we thought it would do. Once your bundles have been in the pot for about 30 minutes, you can turn off your stove and open it up. And you'll have little bundles sitting here. Your rubber bands may have broken off, so I'm going to carefully put these onto a towel so that they can cool off. This is very hot, so you could wait until the steam stops, or just carefully move them to a flat surface and allow them to steam for a few seconds. Okay, so I'm going to open up these bundles, and I don't actually know if this will work or not, so it'll be a surprise. Let's open this up. Ooh, look at that. So we have a nice printed polka dot egg, and you can see where the fabric touched it, that's where the print transferred, and there's some spots where it didn't. Oh, this is so exciting. It's always fun to test something out and have it work out. Okay, now for the floral one. I think this one probably did well too because it's transferred into the cotton fabric. So, gently open this up. Oh, look at that. Yes. We have some floral print. And then this is that striped one. See how this did. So this one is very faint, but it still did transfer a bit. So it's very pastel-y and striped. And you can use these pieces, these scraps of the silk again to transfer more onto other eggs. So be sure to dry these out and use them again, or use them straight wet if you're going to use them right away. Set those aside for the next time. So that is transferring dyes from fabric, and that it came out pretty well. I'm pleased with this outcome. It's a fun way to create a unique egg decorated style. Use this bundle dyeing technique to experiment with other fabrics, cotton, silk, or other natural fibers usually will work the best. Like this video because it helps me keep this channel going, and check the links in the description below for other Easter egg dyeing videos, as well as a video on how to create a springtime egg tree using a branch and turning these eggs into ornaments to decorate your tree for springtime. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.